Jai Srimanarayana to you all. Dear friends, we feel proud of this wonderful event to be with leaders, scholars of different religions, and also good seekers to know the connectivity between all of them, where they come together, where there are differences, and how they exist with each other. We are not a great English scholar. Just we were talking to a friend. We understand English and we speak, of course, a little. So we try to communicate in a way we taught how to understand the nature of the man in forming the religions and also living with each other. We follow basically the text called Vedas. And as our beloved speaker just before, Sriman Ramprasadji said, we follow a tradition called Vaishnavism as described by the Vedas. Veda as an umbrella gives different schools of thought to follow by the human beings, and of course it gives a way even to people who don't believe in it, as he rightly said. Means there are different schools of thought under the umbrella, like the theism and atheism as well, and of course all go together. This kind of ideology was given to the people in India, where we are hailing from, and that is the reason India is a place even today opened doors to all religions to come together and live with each other, sharing their ideas. Most of us must be aware of that India welcomed people from across the world, and for many more centuries there were Mughals who were just ruling, and for some time there was British which was ruling, but all they lived together following their own systems and traditions. It is because Vedas, what the scriptures discovered by the great people called sages, rishis of ancient times, they taught man how to be tolerant, practicing one's own faith, as our beloved friend said. Vedas said man is a product of R2. We have different codes for different elements in science. So also for man, they have given a code. There was a great scholar called Yaskacharya. In Sanskrit language, he has given a description for one to be called as a man. like matva karmani sivyati iti manushya. Man is called manushya in Sanskrit language. So they said manushya is the one who does basically a kind of thinking and realizes something and then puts it in practice. Of course, any animal does the same thing. When there is an action, before that action there is something, a thought process goes, and then it will be translated into action. But this is pretty common with every species. And what a difference between the other species and the man. So there, the description goes like the thinking process and the realization is not just like the other creatures do. It's a fivefold realization, what they said. What is the fivefold? There are 5 steps of understanding the reality of the life, and then start practicing that so that there won't be any kind of interpolation or contradiction with each of the phase, but you live in the world with variety of people and variety of species around, and still you live in peace and let the world live in peace. I give you just a brief note of what those 5 phases, what the scriptures talked about, and the great exponents of the Vedic scriptures have described. The first level what they talked about was the self, the body of us. What we need to understand with the body is take care of your body, eat good food, behave well, sleep well, drink well, and lead a healthy life. It's necessary, of course, as one of the scriptures called Bhagavad Gita, there it is said, Yukta ahara viharasya, Yukta cheshtasya karmasu, Yukta swapna avabodhasya, Yogo bhavati dukkha. One can lead a fair life when one takes care of food in a modest way, and he moves with people in a modest way. When he acts with his body in a modest way, and when he thinks in a modest way, then he can lead a peaceful life with his body. What we need to understand here is a body in which there are different organs. Each organ is different in its own way in terms of its name, its form, its functionality. But each of these organs, they share their joy and pains also. If there is something hits, probably our foot, our hand responds, our mind responds, and our eyes shed tears, our mouth calls for help, and of course each of these organs respond so that the pain will be reduced there. And of course when the pain is reduced, then all the organs will be happy. They share the joy also. What happens if one other organ doesn't respond for the other? Something hit or something hurt the foot, and the other foot never understands nor the mind never instructs the rest of the parts of the body. And what happens is seriously diabetic. So that means the whole body is in danger. When one organ is suffering, though other organs have different activities to do, but still they share the pains of that particular organ, not for the sake of that organ, but for the benefit of these organs. They go, respond, and lessen the pain of that organ, and then all the rest will live in peace and joy. Here, differences are there between the organs, but there is a kind of understanding and sharing the things for common health of the body. This is what we find here with the body. So, to keep all the organs in cohesiveness, do good exercise, eat good food, and live healthy life. This is, of course, everybody does, whether he is a theist or an atheist, he does the same job. But this is what they call level 1. This is only step 1 where we are. But we need to grow still 4 more steps. And the second step, what they said is about the origin of this body. We came from a family. There is a mother, there is a father, and as a result of them, then we are here. That means the moment one born here on this earth, he is not alone, or he is not a single one, just came from the blue. He is in a network. We are in a network called family. So the moment you are here, you have a mom, you have a dad, you may be having brothers and sisters and uncles and aunties and so on and so forth. As you have differences among the organs in a body, they share the things with each other. So also in a family, when you want to live in peace and with joy, and you need to have a kind of sharing the pains and joys of others, where there is a diversity. There are differences between the people in terms of their habits, their thoughts, their activities, and their attitudes. Mother may be thinking something, father's thinking is something different, likings are different and dislikings are different. One person may be liking a red color to be worn, another person may be blue color, some other person may be a pink color. So people with different likings and dislikings, but they respect the system of the family and they satisfy the needs of others, but still they live as a single unit, as a single family. There are differences among the members of the family. And even in eating food as well, one may be liking sweet, and may be liking spice, some other person may be liking something else. But still, they respect the systems, and they satisfy their needs, and still they live together as a single family. Something happens to one person, others will respond, they share the joy, they share the pain, and that is a family what we see when you go to the level 2, where you as a person in a family try to share the joys and sorrows, but respect the system of the family as an umbrella under which all these are living together. But this is what they call level 2. Each family must be having a tradition behind them, a kind of practice, a kind of usage behind them. Respect that system so that the family becomes strong, and then start leading the life. This is what they said level 2 of the understanding, or what they call realization, and then put it in the practice and then start living. But we have to step up again to the third level. What they call is the family you born in is not only the family in the world, but there are millions and trillions of families around us. And as we have different things in a family, so also there are many things between all the families as well in a society. As you have different parts with different colors in your own body, so also in the world in general, there are different colors among the masses. And each one has a family. And each one has certain traditions, usages, and practices carried behind. Your family is not only the family, so you have to share the joys and sorrows of other families as well, following your own systems. When you are in a body, the hand never compromises with its responsibilities and with its duties. So also the mouth never compromises with its own practices, but it respects the practices of other organs. In the same mouth we have teeth and tongue, and the practice of teeth is different, the practice of tongue is different. One is smooth and one is sharp, but both go together, respecting the system of the other one. So also in the body, so also in the family. But when you come to the step 3, as a society we look around. In a big society, there are variety of families and there are many a practice. And we see many colors as well. So there are people in white color, there are people in red color, there are people in black color, and there are people in brown color. But these colors and these families, preserving their own traditions, preserving their own customs and usages, if they start sharing the pains and sorrows of other families and respecting the other things, not compromising what they are with, not losing their own traditions and systems, I think the society will be a healthy, it becomes a healthy society. What we call the world. Probably there we need to understand a word which is of course coined like worship your own, respect all. You must have born with something, or probably you must have adopted something, and you must be practicing something, and what you have liked or what you are with, don't compromise in any way with it and practice it 100%. You must be having some kind of faith and belief, and you believe in that 100%. No matter whether you are a theist or an atheist, because every way of the life is something what that ex-person has chosen for his life. So, you respect that person with what he is, and you worship what you are with. So, we say that it is a worship your own, like worship your own mother, worship your own father, worship your own religion, worship your own country, worship your own self. But it doesn't mean that the other things should be put down, nor you have to just raise them to the skies. So you have to respect the systems of other. You need not worship them, you need not follow them, but you need to respect them as it is. As in a body, one part respects the systems of the other part. They never undermine, they never hate, they never give up their own practices. So, worship whatever is yours, respect the systems of the others. It should be vice versa. It should be from the other end also. When the hand worships its own activity and respects the activity of the leg, then so also the leg respects the duty of the hand, not giving up its own activity. Like leg never says, hey, I should always carry the body. Why should I? The hand is always up. Let me go up and let the hand come down. The leg never says, nor the hand says other way around. So each system, each organ, as they follow their own things, they worship their own things and respect the systems of the other organs. So also in a society, we as a member of the family follow what your family has given to you and then respect the systems of the other families. So also in a society, what you are born with, what you are learning or what you are practicing, worship that uncompromisingly, but respect the systems of the others. So being a person believing in some form of God, or probably God in some form, let me put it this way, because as some people think that the Vedas never talked about many gods. Vedas, and of course any religion in that sense, talk about one God. Always one God in the world, or maybe in the universe. But that one God is perceived in different ways by different people, depending upon the way they are looking from. So one may be looking from one perspective, another person may be looking from some other perspective, some other may be looking from other perspective altogether. So the way you look at, the way you understand, the way you interpret, and the way you talk about it. Whatever way just we believe in, but that is way you have chosen. But some other person must have believed. Some people say, no, I don't believe in God, but just I rely upon the nature only. That's fine. He must have believed in the way of nature. Or probably some people may not believe in the nature also, but they believe in hunger. And they believe in breathing the air. Without that, because nobody can survive at all. So you believed, that ultimate reality in the form of either hunger or either the life supporting power. But that's okay. I respect you in your way, in your own way, but you also should respect me in my own way too. You need not just give up your what people call as atheism. You worship that, but you respect me as in a way I believed, as the way I am living. So, respecting and worshipping are the two things which probably a man has to understand, and where you worship what you believed in and respect what others are chosen to believe and follow. So an atheist also can respect a theist. A theist also can respect an atheist as well. But ultimately, both should respect the society as a whole, and both should start working with the society to make the life comfortable in the society, wherever they are. Where, as our friends discussed, there should be some commonalities where all they should work together. This is what the step 3 is all about. But still that's not enough. You need to have a realization, and then you need to start responding for that through your actions. and worse. But then you have to go to the step 4, where man is not only the one living on this earth, and man is not living by himself altogether. Man is depending upon many other factors around, like trees are helping, water is helping, air is helping, and the earth is helping, the birds are helping, and animals are helping, insects are helping, many other creatures and inert and lively objects also helping the survival of the man on the earth. So, take care of them. You need to respect their systems as well. Not out of compassion, but for the survival of man, our own, because we are depending upon them, so we have to take care of them. So take care of what nowadays the so-called scientists are saying, taking care of the nature, taking care of the endangered species and so on and so forth. So, and don't pollute the water, don't contaminate the air, and don't spoil the earth, adding chemicals and other stuff. So, keeping the nature, keeping the other creatures around in their own way, and of course, wherever it is needed, exploitation, what people call, do it to the extent that you need it. Not beyond the limit. There is a common saying what now many people are used to as serving humanity is service to God. Some people say that. But this, the great sage, he says just go beyond that a step forward, like taking care of other species is not out of compassion that you have to do, but for your own survival. If they are good, you are good. If they are not there, then man cannot live on the earth at all. So that's the reason serving not only humanity, but serve all beings as service to God. Because Vedas say about God like He is the power that exists in every atom. As the Veda says, Ano Raniyan Mahato Mahiyan. The power of God is subtler than the subtlest and greater than the greatest. So that exists everywhere. So whatever that you see around is nothing but another form of God which is around you. So take care of those species, take care of those things, and think that it is a kind of service to God. A kind of service to God only. I think again here that comes like take care of yourself and take care of others. But while you are taking care of yourself, you worship whatever that belongs to you and respect the systems of the other species around the nature. But this is what they call as a step 4. Share the pains and joys of others around in the nature also, in keeping them impeccable. And then going to the step 5, then comes the realism. There is some unseen, unknown power which is controlling everything behind all of us, probably from around all of us. And we believed in that power, of course, some people as nature, just keep them aside, but some people in some other form, giving a name and a form and a way of worshipping that, what we call as a Christianity or Islamism or what they call as the Vaishnavism or Saivism or Shaktism, Buddhism, Judaism, or what you call the Sikhism. We believed in that power in a way, but that's fine. Be humble to that. Be loyal to that. You must have perceived that power, or probably you must have taught in a particular way by the great preceptors, by the great prophets, who probably by obvious reasons, to see that people of that land to lead a life of peace. They have given us wonderful traditions, wonderful ways to worship that. And probably it doesn't mean to condemn the other things. So, whatever way we perceive that ultimate power, whom we call as God, is of course real in that perspective. It is so true in that sense. Let people call it according to the Vedas, whether it is a Advaita or Dvaita or Visishtadvaita. There are many other schools of thought like called Achintya Veda or Suddhadvaita, many schools. Even then, the way you believed in, just worship it 100%. And whatever the others believe in, respect that. You need not worship that. You need not follow that. And you need not undermine that. And you need not hate it also. You have to respect that. So, the respect comes from both the ends. And the worship is personal, but respect is for the society. So the word, what the great sage said is, understand the life in these 5 aspects and have a kind of realization and then translate it to one action, respond accordingly. So what they said is the realization and responding accordingly. What the code given is the R2. One is the realization and the responding. So it's but the great sage Yaska, in his works, he gave the definition in Sanskrit, matva, or thinking in 5 ways, realizing in 5-fold understanding, having that. Karmani sivyati, one who is able to act. They used a beautiful word called sewing. We sew the dresses, right? So while wearing the dresses, nowadays there are different colors that we see among ourselves also. But when we go to the market, there are 2 types of dresses. Single color dress like us, multi-color dresses, like some people wear. But the multi-color dress is very costly than the single color dress. You know why? Because they collect different pieces of cloths, but they stitch them in a way that person can wear it and appear in a beautiful way. So if you take it as an analogy, what the sage has given as sivyati, a Sanskrit word which is very beautiful, is stitching. In olden days, the unused cloths, or probably the cut cloths when the dresses are made, they used to throw them out. But later people started bringing such pieces and forming them as a nice dress, nice cloths. Then they started making one color here, one color here, one color here, one color here, one in the front, one in the back. So different colors, but to make such waste pieces in a beautiful cloth, in a beautiful dress, I think it's a very difficult task. Society is like that. There are people belonging to different religions, different races, different colors, different practices, different sizes, and different ethnic backgrounds. This is the society just like thrown out cloth pieces. But the task of the man, or probably the greatness of the man, is proved where who is able to bring all those pieces together and make them a beautiful cloth to wear. And if we are able to dress the society with such colorful dresses, I think it is something to be adored. So we have to live in a society where all these kinds of people are living. It is maybe Britain, or maybe America, or maybe India, or maybe Japan, or any part of the world nowadays, because of the globalization, people belonging to different ethnics, races, and religions and practices are now becoming a part of every part of the world. So this is very, very important to how to remain oneself yet become a part of the society, so that he lives in peace and he helps the society in leading a peaceful life. This is what Vedas taught, of course, in elaboration, and great sages have gave a beautiful definitions for the word, and we being human beings having different religions, and this kind of understanding between the religions is very, very important, and especially this kind of congregations what Dr. Anand wonderfully organized for this evening, inviting people, inviting the great leaders of the society who are leading different religions, and if they come together, have an understanding, have a sharing of their ideas, and come out with some kind of conclusions, like where we can meet with each other, where we can share good things, and where we can still preserve our own identity as something coming from behind since millennia, or since ages. So this evening, I'm sure, gives us a nice way. It opens the doors for us to have an understanding of different backgrounds, different religions, and also bring us together so that all we become a part of this colorful society. This is what, in brief, the great Acharya Ramanuja, 1000 years ago, who born in 1780 and lived for 120 years, the full age of his life, and brought all people together. He got a mantra from his guru, and guru said it's very powerful, and he said don't give it to anybody. And Ramanujacharya said that is fine, but what happens if the mantra is given to anybody? So he said, of course, the one who takes the mantra will be coming out of the problems, he'll be redeemed of his problems. And what happens if I give mantra to anybody? Then you will be falling in the naraka, you will be falling in the hell. Ramanuja said, if I, for the giving the mantra to people who are coming out of the problems, and if the world is redeemed of their problems, and as a result of that I fall in the hell, probably I am the first person to accept that. I don't mind falling in hell if the world is saved, if everybody is benefited. Not only just said, but the Ramanujacharya in his lifetime, he made a kind of equal living among all the sections of the society in that country. What people call about India, the casteism, which made a lot of mess in the country like that. But it was the great Acharya Ramanuja who brought all the castes together. And he said that before God, all we are equal, irrespective of whatever races, colors, and adoptions are. So we, of course, coming from that background of Ramanujacharya, following the Vedic systems, we also believe that we worship our own system uncompromisingly, but at the same time we respect all the systems of the world where all we live together, respecting ultimately the society in which we live, and also respect the nature, and believing that everything is a part of that ultimate power, God. So we are very happy to be with you all. We are not very good at English, and but we are able to understand the English, what all our respected scholars spoke. We, of course, we try to follow, but a bit it is difficult for us to follow the slang of this land. No? But still, they made it very, very clear, where we almost 99% of what our beloved friends spoke, and we are very, very thankful, and of course we are grateful for sharing their ideas, and also we love to be in this kind of sessions to share the ideas and practice. So God bless us all, and God bless the world, and God bless this place, a nice one for all of us to live together and share our joys and sorrows. Jai Sri Manarayan.